Senator.
Senator Hassan.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair and Ranking Member Wyden, and good morning, Mr. Secretary. Thank you for joining us this morning. Secretary Bessent, in your confirmation hearing, I asked you whether any of President Trump's policies would increase costs for families. You said that there is, quote, nothing I can immediately think of, close quote. Mr. Secretary, have costs for new parents increased or decreased under President Trump?
I'm not sure how you're defining that, but overall inflation is down for the first time in 3 years.
Well, let me provide you with some data then. The answer is that costs have gone up for new parents. As the ranking member of the Joint Economic Committee, I just released a report this morning that shows that costs have gone up nearly 25% for the most popular baby items since Trump's main tariffs were imposed. This includes a price increase of more than $40 for the most popular infant seat on a car seat on Amazon. And Mr. Chair, with unanimous consent, I'd like to enter the JEC minority report into the record. Thank you. Secretary, with his reckless tariffs, the president has imposed a 10% national sales tax on imports into our country. So, Mr. Secretary, do Americans pay tariffs?
Senator, thus far, we have seen no price increases due to tariffs.
Well, what I just asked you was whether Americans pay the tariffs.
Again, as I told the ranking member, Walmart has decided to pass along some portion of the tariffs. That is a private decision. Amazon and Home Depot have not.
Well, let me just tell you. Let me tell you what's happened to one small New Hampshire business. And can we have the charts up here? Because you're essentially testifying that Americans don't really pay the president's across the board 10% tariffs. Behind me is a receipt from the U.S. Customs and Border Protection showing that a small distiller in Salem, New Hampshire, paid the United States government $2,600 in the president's new tariffs on a single shipment of lemons from Italy. And I have the same receipt for about the same size shipment that they had before the tariffs went into effect, and that $2,600 was not on the receipt back in, I think it was March. So, since you testified that Americans don't pay the president's tariffs, will the Treasury reimburse this New Hampshire small business for these tariffs that they paid to the United States government?
Again, Senator, a luxury product from Italy, I think we have to look in the aggregate, and the aggregate is showing us that thus far, contrary to many wishes, that there has been no inflation from tariffs.
So first of all, this is a small distiller in Salem, New Hampshire that employs people, and now it's got a monthly or bi-monthly expense of $2,600 it didn't have, and it's either going to, lay people off, stop producing some of its products, but its business isn't going to grow with a new $2,600 charge unless it's going to pass on the price to American consumers. So I just want to be clear, you all need to own up to the fact that tariffs are taxes. They are a sales tax. I think you noted in the Oval Office recently that the president's tariffs would raise $2.8 trillion over a decade.
I was quoting the CBO.
So, okay, so the CBO now says it. So that's now about a $3 trillion tax that Americans will pay.
No, ma'am.
A sales tax.
Much of that is being absorbed by the producers.
Well, that certainly isn't true for new parents. In addition to the 5 popular products on Amazon that new parents need, there's another. We did another analysis on a baby list registry. New parents in America will pay total over the next year about $875 more for their products than they would have paid before the president's tariffs. Now, lastly, I just want to note that the CBO has made clear that the Republican budget bill will take away health care from millions and millions of Americans, both Medicaid coverage and the Affordable Care Act coverage. Not to mention, it will trigger a $500 billion cut to Medicare that will impact providers and rural hospitals. And it will add trillions of dollars to the national debt. So, Mr. Secretary, this is all to pay for massive tax cuts to millionaires and billionaires. why, sir, do you need a tax cut at the expense of health care for millions of Americans?
Well, I would dispute those numbers. 1.4 million illegal aliens receive Medicaid. I think,
But the CBO, first of all, they don't receive federal Medicaid dollars. And secondly, the CBO says without counting that, it's still, I think, 11 or 12 million Americans who are going to have their health care ripped away so that people in your income bracket can get massive tax breaks. I think that's un-American, and I think that's unfair, and I think the American people understand that too. Thank you, Mr. Chair.